such as E. coli, the process of replication requires a set of catalysts or enzymes. The main enzyme is referred to as DNA-dependent DNA polymerase, since it uses DNA template to catalyze the polymerization of deoxynucleotides. These enzymes are highly efficient enzymes as they have to catalyze polymerizations of a large number of nucleotides in a very short time. E. coli that has only 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair. Compare it with human, whose diploid content is 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pair. Completes the process of replication within 18 minutes. That means the average rate of polymerization have to be approximately 2000 base pair per second. Not only do these polymerases have to be fast, they have also to be catalyzed the reaction with high degree of accuracy. Any mistake during replication would result in mutations. Furthermore, more energetically, replication is a very expensive process. Deoxyribonucleoside triphosphate serves dual purpose. In addition to acting as substrate, they also provide energy for polymerization reaction. The two terminal phosphates in deoxynucleoside phosphates are high energy phosphates, some as in case of ATP. In addition to DNA-dependent DNA poly, many additional enzymes are required to complete the process of replication with high degree of accuracy. For long DNA molecules, since the two strands of DNA cannot be separated in its entire length due to very high energy requirement, the replication occurs with a small opening of the DNA helix referred to as a replication fork. The DNA-dependent DNA polymerase catalyzes polymerization only in one direction, that is 5 to 3. This creates some additional complications at the replication fork. Consequently, on one strand the template with polarity 3' to 5', the replication is continuous, and with other the template with polarity 5' to 3', it is discontinuous. The discontinuously synthesized fragments are later joined by DNA ligase. The DNA polymerase on their own cannot initiate the process of replication. Also, the replication does not initiate randomly at any place in DNA. There is a definite region in the E. coli DNA where the replication originates. Such regions are termed as origin of replication. Because of the requirement of origin of replication, that a piece of DNA is needed to be propagated during recombinant DNA procedures requires a vector. The vector provides the origin of replication. Further, not every detail of replication is understood well. In eukaryotes, the replication of DNA takes place in S phase of the cell cycle. The replication of DNA and cell division cycle should be highly coordinated. A failure in cell division after DNA replication results into polyploidy, a chromosomal anomaly. Polyploidy, a chromosomal anomaly. You will learn the detailed nature of origin and the processes occurring at this site in higher classes. Three to 5 is the continuous, and 5 to 3 is discontinuous. And here you can see the process of copying genetic information from one strand of DNA into RNA is termed as transcription. Here also the principle of complementarity governs the process of transcription, except that adenosine complement now form base pairs with uracil instead of thymine, like A complement with U. However, unlike in the process of replication, which once set in, the total DNA of one organism get duplicated, in transcription only a segment of DNA and only one of the two strands is copied into RNA. This necessitates defining the boundaries that would demarcate the region and the strand of DNA that would be transcribed. Why both the strands are not copied during transcription has a simple answer. First, if both the strands act as template, they would code for RNA molecule with different sequences. Remember, complementarity does not mean identical, and in turn they code for proteins. The sequence of amino acids in the protein would be different. Hence, one segment DNA would be coding for two different proteins, and this would complicate the genetic information transfer machinery. Second, the two RNA molecules, if produced simultaneously, they would be complementary to each other, hence would form a double-stranded RNA. This would prevent RNA from being translated into protein, and the process of transcription would be futile one. So, double-stranded RNA silencing occurs. Transcription unit. The transcription unit in DNA defined primarily with three regions in the DNA: a promoter, a structural gene, and a terminator. There is a convention in defining the two strands of DNA in a structure of transcription unit. Since the two strands have opposite polarity and the DNA-dependent RNA pol also catalyze the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5' to 3', the strand has the polarity 3 to 5 act as template and also referred to as template strand. You can learn it by T43 and 3 to 5 is the template. Okay, T43 is template. And is also referred to as template. The other strand, which has polarity 5' to 3' and the sequences such as RNA except thymine at the place of uracil, is displaced during transcription. Strongly, this strand, which does not code for anything, is referred to as coding strand. All the references point while defining a transcription unit is made with coding strand. To explain the point, a hypothetical sequence from a transcription unit is represented below. Like here, you can see template strand 3' to 5' and coding strand is 5' to 3'. Okay. Can you write the sequence of RNA transcribed from the A of DNA? Yes, why not? Like RNA. I have to make 1 minute. So RNA would be 5 to 3 I would write, and the things which is given here, what I would do is like wherever replace the T with U. Okay, replace, just replace, and take this strand, coding strand, and just replace the T with U, U A C G, U A C G, just like this. Okay. Or the other way of doing this is like this. Like firstly, what I would do is A T T A C G. Okay. And now so as you can see, just replace this T with U and just write the same thing. Like 5 to 3 when I have to write, then I would write UACG, UACG. Okay. Firstly, what happens is like if you are having ATGC, then what I would do is replication, when I would do, then what is formed? CG. And when I would do transcription, then AUTACG. Okay, just it, transcription. Can you not? Yes, I have it already. So here you can see that this is the promoter site having 3' to 5'. Just learn that 3 and T. Okay, this is the template strand. T for template, T for 3. It starts with 3 and coding strand 3 to 5'. Okay, and this one is the terminator. This is your structural gene. The promoter and terminated flank the structural gene. The promoter and terminated flank the structural gene just like this. This is your promoter and this is your terminator and this is the structural gene. This is the structural gene. Okay. In transcription unit, the promoter is said to be located 5' and upstream of the structural gene. Reference is made with respect to the polarity of the coding strand. Is DNA sequence that provides binding site for RNA pol, and is the presence of promoter in a transcription unit that also defines the template and coding strand. By switching its position with the terminator, the definition of coding and template strands could be reversed. The terminator is located towards 3' and downstream of the coding strand, and it is usually defines the end of process of transcription. There are additional regulatory sequences that may be present further upstream and downstream to the promoter. Some of the properties of these sequences shall be discussed while dealing with regulation of gene expression. Transcription unit and the gene. The gene is defined as a functional unit of inheritance. Though there is no ambiguity that the genes are located on DNA, it is difficult to literally define a gene in terms of DNA sequence. The DNA sequence coding for tRNA or rRNA molecules also define a gene. However, by defining a cistron, a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide, a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide, the structural gene in the transcriptional unit could be said as monocistronic in eukaryotes and polycistronic, mostly seen in bacteria or prokaryotes. Here you can see P and P. So just learn polycistronic in prokaryotes and monocistronic in eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, the monocistronic genes have interrupted coding sequences. The genes in eukaryotes are split. The coding sequences or express sequences are defined as exons. Exons are said to be those sequences that appear in mature processed RNA. The exons are interrupted by introns. Introns or intervening sequences do not appear in mature or processed RNA. The split gene arrangement further complicates the definition of gene in terms of DNA segment. Inheritance of character is also affected by promoter and regulatory sequences of a structural gene, and sometimes the regulatory sequences are loosely defined as regulatory genes, even though these sequences do not code for RNA or protein. Types of RNA and the process of transcription. In bacteria, there are 3 major types of RNAs: mRNA, messenger RNA, tRNA, transfer RNA, and rRNA, ribosomal RNA. All these 3 RNAs are needed to synthesize a protein in a cell. The mRNA provides the template, tRNA brings amino acids and reads the genetic code, and rRNA plays a structural and catalytic role during translation. There is a single DNA-dependent RNA pol that catalyzes transcription of all types of RNAs. In bacteria, RNA pol binds to promoter and initiates transcription. Initiation. It uses nucleoside triphosphate as substrate. Here you can see like sigma factors added for initiation. Okay. Initiation, elongation, and for termination, rho factor is needed. Okay. And polymerizes in template dependent fashion following the rule of complementarity. It somehow also facilitates opening of helix at and continuous elongation. Only a short stretch of RNA remains bound to the enzyme. Once the polymerase reaches the terminated region, the nascent RNA falls off also the RNA polymerase. This results in termination of transcription. An intriguing question is that how the RNA polymerase is able to catalyze all the three steps, which are initiation, elongation, and termination. The RNA polymerase is only capable of catalyzing the process of elongation. It associates transiently with initiation factor sigma and terminator factor rho to initiate and terminate the transcription, respectively. Association with these factors also alter the specificity of RNA polymerase to either initiate or terminate. In bacteria, since the mRNA does not require processing to become active, and also since transcription and translation takes place in the same compartment, there is no separation of cytosol and nucleus in bacteria. Many times, translation begins much before the mRNA is fully transcribed. Consequently, the transcription and translation can be coupled in bacteria. In eukaryotes, there is two additional complexities. There are at least 3 RNA polymerases in the nucleus in addition to RNA polymerase found in organelles, like in mitochondria. The RNA polymerase found in organelles, there is a clear-cut division of labor. The RNA polymerase 1 transcribed rRNA, you can learn it by the mnemonic RMT, like PMT जो एग्जाम हुआ करता था उसकी जगह पे RMT, you can learn it by like this RMT 1, 2 and 3. So what happens is intron, RNA splicing, poly-A tail, polyadenylation, capping, this all occurs so that introns could be removed. 28S, 18S and 5.8S. Whereas RNA pol 3 is responsible for transcription of tRNA, 5S RNA and snRNA. tRNA, 5S RNA and snRNA, small nuclear RNAs. The RNA pol 2 transcribe precursors of mRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA, hnRNA, RMT. The second complexity, that is primarily transcripts, contains both exons and introns and are non-functional. Hence, it is subjected to the process called splicing, where the introns are removed. Splicing, where the introns are removed and exons are joined in defined order. hnRNA undergoes additional processing called capping and telling. In capping, unusual nucleotide methyl guanosine triphosphate is added at 5' end of hnRNA. In telling, adenylate cyclase 200 to 300 are added at 3 end in a template independent manner. It is the fully processed hnRNA, now called as mRNA, that is transported out of nucleus for translation. The significance of such complexity is now beginning to be understood. The split gene arrangement represents possibly ancient feature of genome. The presence of intron is remnant of antiquity, and the process of splicing represents dominance of RNA world. In recent times, the understanding of RNA and RNA-dependent processes in the living system have assumed more importance. Genetic code. During replication and transcription, a nucleic acid was copied to form another nucleic acid. Hence, these processes are easy to conceptualize on the basis of complementarity. The process of translation requires transfer of genetic information from a polymer of nucleotide to synthesis a polymer of amino acid. Since neither does any complementarity exist between nucleotides and amino acid, nor could any be drawn theoretically. There existed ample evidences, though, in support to the notion that changes in nucleic acid genetic material was responsible for change in amino acids in protein. This led to the proposition of the genetic code that could direct the sequence of amino acid during synthesis of proteins. In determining the biochemical nature of genetic material and the structure of DNA was very exciting. The proposition and deciphering of genetic code was most challenging. In a very true sense, it required involvement of scientists from several disciplines: physicists, organic chemists, biochemists, and geneticists. It was George Gamow, a physicist, who argued that since there are only 4 bases and they would have to code for 20 amino acids, the code should be constituted of combination of bases. He suggested that in order to code for all the 20 amino acids, the code should be made up of 3 nucleotides. This was a bold proposition because a permutation combination of 4 raised to power 3 would generate 64 codons, generating many more codons than required. Providing proof that codon was a triplet was a more daunting task. The chemical method developed by Hargobind Khorana was instrumental in synthesizing RNA molecule with defined combination of bases, homopolymers and copolymers. Marcel Nirenberg's cell-free system for protein synthesis finally helped the code to be deciphered. Severo-Ochoa enzyme polynucleotide phosphorylase was also helpful in polymerizing RNA with defined sequences in template-independent manner. Enzymatic synthesis of RNA by Severo-Ochoa. Finally, a checkerboard for genetic code was prepared, which is given below. You can make your own checkerboard by write UCAG and like this. UCAG, and here you have to write UCAG like this. 1 minute. I can make one of it. Write like this. UCAG, and make a line and write UCAG, just like this. Same here and here, and just copy from here and a letter from here, like 1 minute. UCAG, okay, U, and I am writing UCAG. So what I will take this and this. And for learning this one, you can use the trick SPTA. And the salient features of the genetic code are as follows. The codon is triplet. 61 codon code for amino acids and 3 codons do not code for any amino acid, hence they function as stop codons. Some amino acids are coded by more than one codon, hence the codon code is degenerate. The codon is read mRNA in contagious fashion. There are no punctuations. The codon is nearly universal. For example, from bacteria to human, UUU would code for phenylalanine. Some exceptions to this rule has to be found in mitochondrial codons and in some protozoans. AUG has dual functions. It codes for methionine, also act as initiator codon. UUU, UAG, and UGA are terminator stop codons. If following is the sequence of nucleotides in mRNA, predict the sequence of amino acid coded by it. Methionine, phenylalanine, just like this. Now try the opposite. Following the sequence of amino acids coded by mRNA, predict the nucleotide sequence in the RNA. Methyl methionine AUG, phenylalanine UUCU. Do you face any difficulty in predicting the opposite? Not so much. Can you now correlate which two properties of genetic code you have learned? That some amino acids are coded by more than one codon, hence the codon is degenerate and it is universal. And AUG acts as initiator codon. Mutation and genetic code. The relationship between genes and DNA are best understood by mutation studies. You have studied about mutations and its effect in chapter 5. Effect of large deletion and rearrangements in section of DNA are easy to comprehend. It may result in loss or gain of gene and so on as function. The effect of point mutation will be explained here. A classical example of point mutation is a change of single base pair in the gene for beta globin chain that results in change of amino acid residue glutamic acid to valine. It results in disease condition called as sickle cell anemia. Effect for point mutation that inserts or deletes a base in a structural gene can be better understood by following simple example. Consider a statement that is made up of following words such each having 3 letters like genetic code. Ram has a red cap. If we insert a letter B in here has and rearrange the statement, it would read as follows. Similarly, if we now insert 2 letters at the same place, say B, I now would read. Now we insert 3 letters together, big statement would read Ram has big red cap. The same exercise can be repeated by delete the red RED one by one and rearranging the statement to make a triplet word. Here you can see. The conclusion from the above exercise is very obvious. Insertion of deletion of 1 or 2 bases changes the reading frame from the point of insertion or deletion. However, such mutations are referred to as frame shift insertion or deletion mutations. Insertion or deletion of 3 or its multiple bases insert or delete in 1 or multiple codon, hence 1 or multiple amino acids, and reading frame remains unaltered from the point onwards. RNA, the adapter molecule. From the very beginning of proposition of code, it was clear to Francis Crick that there has to be a mechanism to read the code and also to link it to the amino acid, because amino acids have no structural specialties to read the code uniquely. He postulated that the presence of adapter molecule would one hand read the code and on the other hand would bind to a specific amino acid. The tRNA, has called the soluble RNA, was known before the genetic code was postulated. However, its role as adapter molecule was assigned much later. tRNA has anticodon loop that has bases complementary to the codon, and it also has amino acid acceptor end. Here you can see this is an anticodon loop and it's bind to amino acid. tRNAs are specific for each amino acid. For initiation, there is another specific tRNA that referred to as initiator tRNA. There are no tRNA for stop codons. The secondary structure of tRNA has been depicted in this figure. Secondary structure, 2-degree structure. Okay, 2-degree structure is depicted in this figure. Has been depicted that looks like clover leaf. In actual structure, the tRNA is compact molecule which looks like inverted. Translation refers to the process of polymerization of amino acid to form polypeptide. The order and sequence of amino acids are defined by sequence of bases in mRNA. The amino acids are joined by bond which is known as peptide bond. The formation of a peptide bond requires energy. Therefore, in the first phase itself, amino acids are activated in the presence of ATP and linked to their cognate RNA and their cognate tRNAs, a process commonly called a charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA to be more specific. If two such charged tRNAs are brought close enough, the formation of peptide bond between them would be favored energetically. The presence of catalyst would enhance the rate of peptide bond formation. The cellular factory responsible for synthesizing proteins is ribosome. The ribosome consists of structural RNA and 80 different proteins. In inactive state, it exists as two subunits, a large subunit and a small subunit. When the two small subunit encounters an mRNA, the process of translation of mRNA to protein begins. There is two sites in the large subunit for subsequent amino acid to bind and thus be close enough to each other for the formation of a peptide bond. The ribosomes also act as catalyst. The ribosome also acts as catalyst 23S-RNA in bacteria ribozyme for the formation of peptide bond. A translational unit in mRNA is a sequence of RNA that is flanked by a start codon, AUG, and the stop codon codes for polypeptide. And mRNA also has some additional sequences that are not translated and are referred to as untranslated region (UTRs). UTR are present at both 5' and before start codon and 3' and after stop codon. They are required for efficient translation process. For initiation, the ribosome binds to the mRNA and start codon AUG is recognized only by initiator codon. The ribosome proceeds to elongation phase of protein synthesis. During this stage, complex composed of amino acid tRNA sequentially bound to appropriate codon in mRNA by forming complementary base pairs with tRNA codon. The ribosomes move from codon to codon along the mRNA. tRNA are added one by one, translated into polypeptide sequence dictated by DNA and represented by mRNA. At the end, a release factor binds to stop codon, terminating translation and releasing the complete polypeptide from the ribosome. So this one is the diagram.